What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another episode of Right on Cue Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Logan Chestnut. And joining me tonight, first time in a long time, it seems like, Mr. AJ Johnson of the New Island Barbecue Team. Brother, how's it going, man?
Man, it's doing great, man. Just enjoying this time off from barbecue, but I'm ready to get back at it.
Time off of
About you?
barbecue or time off of the show? You haven't been on here in a few weeks, it seems like, man. It's been a month. I've been over here solo, like just chugging along, but
no, man. The good thing, man, you've been killing it. So I've been tuning in, man. You've been killing it.
That's what I do. Man, let's talk about the trip to the House of Mouse, because you were there 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You still you still recovering? You still trying to stack
still recovering, trying to make some money back. But I tell you, man, it was a trip of a lifetime, and I was very pleased and amazed at all the stuff, and definitely ready to go back.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like the level of service that they have there is just on a different. Like they have it down to a science, because as large of a parks as they are, and they are massive. Like, Tell me, I mean, I can't remember a cleaner park that I've been to. Like, if there's trash on the ground, I don't care who it is besides the characters. Like, somebody's picking it up.
Oh yeah, quick. I mean, it's nothing's out of place. No trash on the ground. Everything is just perfect. Especially Epcot, man. It was amazing.
Oh, Epcot is like adult playground. Like, I whenever we get big on this show, I want all us to go down there and do a drink around the world and see how far we make it.
Hey, man, I've seen a bunch of people trying to do it, and halfway, I could tell they was pretty lit.
Struggling. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'll throw my hat in the ring. We'll see if we can do it. I'll put my. I bet we make it to Germany and be like 9. 9.
Yeah. That's like halfway. Yeah, you'd be like,
so bad. But no, dude, it's insane. Like the rides there are so cool. But remember, we talked before AJ went down there. I was like, man, you got a game plan for this thing.
I said, you definitely got a game plan.
Because it's not like one of those. It's not a relaxing vacation. It's a get up. All right, let's go. It's a military strategy.
It's like every morning, like we was up at 5 o'clock. Sometimes 4:45. Getting ready, catch the bus, just a rope drop, just to ride the good ride. So we'll stand in line. I'm like, I need a vacation from vacation.
Yeah, I know. Like you need a beach vacation from the Disney vacation, because it is
exactly.
you wore out because you walk so like many how many did you check your steps?
Yes. So on average, every day was around 20,000 steps, 9 miles a day. It was wild.
We do that enough, man. Both of us be skinny. We'll be in shape.
Yeah, I'd be like Justin losing all that weight, man.
Oh man, look at him, man. He's still ugly, but he's getting skinnier, uglier though.
He's skinny, bro.
Oh man, no, dude. It's been kind of weird, man. I've been kind of itching to get back in the competition. Like you've done it sooner than I have, but more recent than I have. But man, it's weird. You're used to it. Like, a couple months ago, like literally for 2 months straight, every weekend I was doing one. Me and you both. Yep. And then now it's like you go on like this month and a half hiatus, and you're like, what do I do? Well, I don't.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice because it's hot right now, man. I can just see slaving on the grill. It's gonna be hot.
Dude, you could use my mailbox as an air fryer right now. Like that's how hot this thing is, man. I guarantee I put some chicken nuggets. Heck yeah, I'll put some dino nuggets for my kids. And freaking, I promise you, that mailbox is like 210, 220. I'd be like, I had this thing done in 15 minutes. Let me go check whenever the flag comes up. I'm good to go.
Hey, get it.
But no, man, we are wrapping up the wonderful month of June with none other than our dear friend and prominent sponsor, Mr. Garreth from Brothers Q Barbecue Supply. You may have heard me mention his team name once, twice, 3 times a lady on this show. And you will not find a nicer man than this. And I'm honored, and it's a privilege to have this man on here and join our humble abode. So let's bring this ugly bastard on. What do you
think? Let's do it, man.
Appreciate the compliments there, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, sorry, I forgot your kids are watching the show. My apologies. I'll throw in $1. I'll throw $1 in the swear jar. No, man. Gareth, man, thank you so much for joining us. I truly appreciate it. We were talking before the show. I said, man, his backdrop, this is his first podcast on here, and his backdrop's already kicking our butts.
Oh yeah, it's nice. You can't beat that.
No, man, it is absolutely awesome. How's your how's it been going so far, Mr. Garreth?
Man, everything's kicking along. We're just trying to gain whatever market share we can gain, and helping however we can help, trying to offer solutions to people that are having problems. And, and good thing about being in competition is I'm my own test dummy for a lot of these products.
Amen.
When you get your name called and people ask, I'm trying to sell. So I don't mind telling people this is what works. You just got to execute it. And I think that's been a game changer.
I know you've been crawling your way through, trying to build your inventory and stuff like that, kind of get some different stuff. I know you've been talking to us and talking to a lot of different teams and kind of what they're using, so you can carry it for us. And that's something that what's up, Kevin? That's something I think is important. You're a small business owner, and I think especially us in the backyard, like Garrett's a backyard competitor, and he's a small business owner, and I think we should take it upon ourselves. Like I for sure take it upon myself, to support companies like that who are definitely looking out for the little guys like us.
That's what we're trying to do. That's the market we're chasing.
There you go, man. Well, we're gonna do everything we can to help you out here, brother, for sure. But no, man. So let's talk a little barbecue, shall we? So. Starting off, man, I want to ask you the first question that I failed last episode, but I'm going to do it now. So tell me the origin story of Brothers Q Barbecue Supply, the competition team.
The competition team, we
all the above, yeah.
All the above. All right. Brothers Q started about 2017, 2018, and it was actually just a small group of us guys from the local Masonic Lodge trying to do some fundraising, raising money for scholarships in the community. It was me and actually two other guys, and we worked our tails off to make maybe $1,000 a year. And so we just kept crawling and said, there's got to be an easier way of doing this. So we come together and said, okay, let's just call this Brothers Q. And it ended up being me and one more that stuck with it. And it's Hal Hendricks, the honey guy. A lot of y'all tried his honey. I carry it. It's best honey on the market, in my opinion. But he has stuck with me through thick and thin, and he has helped us build this brand. He's first competition we ever did, he was right there with me the entire time. Whatever we needed done, he took care of it. Second competition, he was there Friday night and Saturday night helping us. Fueling generators, whatever we needed. And behind the scenes, he's my go-to guy, and he doesn't get enough credit for everything he does to help this brand continue to build. He's my delivery man. If we sell a smoker somewhere, he's the first one volunteering to deliver it on his way. He does a lot of running back and forth to the coast, so he's an intricate part of this whole dynamic. So we did last year was our first full year competing. We'd done a few things here and there, didn't really have any clue what we were doing. So we hosted a CBJ class in January, and the Grahams were going to cook this class, and coincidentally, it was the same weekend as the Shed. And Shannon was like, you know what, man, I like you, but we're going to the Shed. So
I don't blame him there.
He said, we're going. So it's like the last week of December, and our class is the third weekend in January. And Randy Bigler hit me up, and he's like, hey, who's going to cook your class? I said, well, I guess I am. And he sent me the list of everything we need. And, dude, I worked my tail off. So at a CBJ class, you turn your meats in, same order as a master's class. So, your chicken, ribs, pork, brisket. Man, I had brisket done. I had pork done, ribs. I had everything laid out. And Bill French was there helping me. And he come out and he said, all right, we're ready for chicken. And I was like, it's at like 152 over here on the smoker. And I said, ribs are ready. So Randy come out, and Randy said, let's take the ribs. We'll go ahead and do it. We ended up doing chicken at 2:00 that day. And we started at 12. So Now you ask some of the judges to this day, they'll tell you some of the best chicken they ever had. I don't know what I did,
Sure,
or how I made it happen, but you know,
well,
we just kind of
that was their first barbecue though.
well, you may be right, but you know, it was a heck of a learning experience. So after doing that, I realized what I'd done wrong. So I went ahead and signed up for Master Series to Smoke on the Shores. The next 2 months later, you know, and that was our first official competition as Brothers Q. And y'all may have met Big Dano. Dano, he helps me every year. Great big redheaded guy. He went with me, man. And last year, Smoke on the Shores, y'all know it was miserable with the weather.
Absolutely miserable.
You know, and my whole goal Saturday morning was just to make turn in on time and not get disqualified. You know, and we did it. We had respectable finishes, middle of the road, and we were already signed up for Smoke on the Falls. So we went ahead and cooked it as a master team as well. And that's when I kind of pumped the brakes. I'm like, you know what, guys, it's backyard for me. This is too hard and too expensive. And so, you know, there we are. We kind of backed off, and that's when I started hanging out, talking with AJ and them, and they were kind of filling me in on the perks of being in backyard versus masters and how much simpler life was. And so we just kind of headed off from there. I think we ended up cooking 12 comps last year between SCA and KCBS. And so part of the way through that, you know, we're doing fundraising this entire time in between comps. And so I was looking at the barbecue supply, looking at how much money we were spending buying product for competitions, buying product for fundraising. And so I thought, you know, let's just get on the phone. We talked to a few people. They were on board helping us out. So let's just start it and see what happens. And so the whole goal going into it was a way that we could help offset the cost on our fundraising side to get more money back to whatever charity we're cooking for. And so far, that has been a great, great help. It's opened a lot of doors. We've met some great people. We've got some influence now at our local grocery store, SDS Grocery. Man, I can pick up the phone. They'll help us however they can help us. They can get all my meat just 3 days after I ordered. I can have however much quantity I need. I think we did the math 2 months ago, and we did right at 8,000 pounds of pork that we purchased through them in 2023.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's a lot of pork.
Yes, it was a lot of pork. So I think I earned my 180s. I've cooked enough pork over the past 2 years that I should have it figured out, you know. But you know, fast forward to now, we're just trying to grow it and trying to sell Hundsakers. We got, you know, 6 on order, 2 of those sold. Start advertising the other 4 as soon as they hit the ground. And just keep grinding. So that's kind of the origin of Brothers Q and where we are today.
I got you, man.
So, man, you know, can you tell us a little bit about what type of smoker you cook on and why you chose that smoker?
I'll tell you, the Hundsakers from day one, I went through a hickory hangover class in 2022. Yeah, we were getting ready to host. We're getting ready to host our first KCBS comp, just that one meat comp. And I wanted to learn a little more about it. And they had a class going. Clint was hosting it. And so I signed up, and they were cooking on Hundsakers. And just watching how easy everything was, I was like, guys, this may be the way to go. And at the time, I was cooking on offset. Black Warrior, man. I was Black Warrior through and through. Still am for a lot of bulk cooks. It's they're locally made. They're one of the best offsets on the market, in my opinion. And so we ended up buying a Build-A-Drum kit. And we built her own. Got another one, and then my buddy Hal found a used smoker, used Hundsaker, and bought it. And here we are. We got our 3 drums, and we're rolling with them. And now I think I got 4 drums total now. And I got a Green Mountain grill. I love it, but I have not been able to nail down ribs or chicken or pork, really anything on it, because I'm so comfortable with it. You know, that's great for cooking at home, but these drums are just where it's at.
Yeah, it's I tell you what, man. So I got a Green Mountain grill that I use on a competition scene for Oh, about half a year or so, and they're great, fantastic grills. But yeah, it's definitely been and it's my porch grill, which for at home cooking, I mean, honest to God, it's a fantastic option. I'd say it's second only to my Lone Star, but yeah, I'll tell you what, once you learn cooking on can, like I think that's what kind of hurt me whenever I switched from can cooking ribs, because I kind of can cooked ribs all last year, and then I did pretty decent, and then switched to this year. I'm using my Lone Star offset or my Lone Star pellet grill, and it's just a different, there's a learning curve between what you do on your can and then what you do on your pellet grill. Both produce fantastic quality ribs. It's just is learning your grill essentially, and that's, I mean, I'm sure AJ and Gareth, you'll say that as well. Like, no matter what grill you're using, they can all succeed. It's just about getting to know it. It's not a quick and easy process. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yes, 100%. And I think a lot of people cook on a can. They want to transition over to a pellet grill just to make it a little bit easier. Well, they expect the same result as far as time and everything on a can. And you got to pump the brakes a little bit on a pellet grill. Give it time to do its job. Start a little bit earlier. And they end up cooking once or twice, bombing, and they go right back to the cans. There's a lot of people. Puck Daddy kills it on pellet grills. So I mean, they have their place. There's no doubt. Once you figure it out and put the time in, it comes down to cooking on what you got. And and that's kind of where I was. I said, I'm going to figure these dang Huntsakers out.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I think flavor wise, cans put a fantastic product out on the ribs, especially. But as far as like appearance and like setting the ribs and stuff like that, I don't think there's a prettier rib out there. And I said it before, than a pellet rib. I think a pellet rib is the prettiest rib you can put out there. Just because there's you don't ever have, because sometimes a pellet grill, if you're not like really babying that thing, like you can't step away from the can very much, because you get them black spots and it gets a little charred, and once you get charred, I mean, there ain't no going back.
Oh, you're right. I use the old AJ trick. I've got me some Harbor Freight Q-tips, 1,000 count in here, and I'm constantly raising those, getting the blood off, trying to avoid those black spots. But
on the top, and you ever done the trick on the back? If you really kind of char your ribs on the back, you get you a stick of butter and rub it on the back, and it'll lighten it up and take that char off of it.
I haven't tried it, but I burnt some up, man. We did a fundraiser last year and had the Southern Pride loaded down and had like 40 slabs of ribs ordered.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like 20 on the offset.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the rib rack out and I think I had 19 slabs on there. We ended up charring 4 or 5. And we had just enough ribs for what were ordered. And my cousin Chad, y'all met him, he come over and he's like, I got an idea. And I think he dumped a gallon of apple juice and a gallon of Coke, and he just kept sending somebody to Dollar General right up the road coming back with stuff. Dude, that turned out to be some of the best ribs I'd ever tried in my life. The guy who bought those slabs, he come back, he was like, can you do that again? And I'm like, dude, I don't know that we can ever do that again.
That's the thing. That's why I like having a rib program, and like, because everybody is like, AJ, you've done it, and like Gareth, I know you've done it and I've done it. Like, you pull something out your ass and it's just like, it's the best thing that ever happens. But if you can't repeat it, I mean, you might as well not do it. You know what I mean? That's the good thing about like when you do this competition barbecue thing, you write everything, even if it sounds stupid, like whatever you do, you write it down, and that way it's all about repetition. That's what kind of separates everybody. Everybody can strike gold every once in a while, like you and your buddy did. But the repetition, that's what kind of separates the men from the boys in this game.
That's right.
There's no doubt. When I went into the off season last year with one goal, I was talking with Juice about it, and I'm like, I'm going to figure out chicken. That was been my nemesis from day one. I said, I've got to figure it out. And I mean, guys, I was writing the dang barometric pressure down. I was writing down everything. I was getting way too complicated with it. But I look back and it made me pay attention to every little detail. And so now, obviously, I'll keep an eye on what the temperature outside is and humidity when I'm cooking it, just see what the difference is. But I mean, it was, Steve Tremaine kept telling me, if you ever hit your tenderness and your texture, your flavor is going to follow. And he was right.
Absolutely.
Once I figured that out,
Nutter butter.
Nutter butter.
No, man, it's so true, man. It's so true. It's just like for last year I couldn't figure like chicken was the only thing, or ribs honestly carried me for most of last year, and I finally figured out chicken through classes. And talking about classes, Garreth, have you taken many, as classes? Like, tell about people like how if you've taken any classes, how that's kind of changed your game, or would you recommend any classes or anything like that?
Well, I got on the Barbecue Champs Academy and took, when I was struggling with chicken, took Sterling Smith's chicken class, and that was a focus on drumsticks, and I mean it was on legs. It was great, very informative. And then took his rib class as well, and I learned a lot on it. The only caveat was he cooked everything on pellet. With those, he cooked brisket and pork on drums. But I took that, and then the Barbecue Champs or the Barbecue League has had some great little stuff. For $9 a month, you cannot beat that because you get access to a lot of videos. And so I've watched some of those, and then we hosted a class back in January, and I got put to work on that. But I did get to sneak in a few nods and a few tricks that I saw, and I took some of those and put them to work. And I'll tell you that they're worth every penny. Because if I had done that last year, the first part of the year, it would have been a game changer on several stages that I cooked on.
Right. I mean, I think classes, they pay for themselves to a point. Like, especially like I said, I took the Bill Purvis class, and like I said, it has truly paid for itself, 3 or 4 times over. But like, just the classes you can, and I used to be like, I can't tell you how many classes I've taken in person, but the Barbecue Champs, like, I love being able to go back and rewatch and like write down because I can tell you how many times, like, I'm not a great note taker, and so for guys like me, like I was never good in school. I was always like, hey girl, you got the notes from last class. But no, man, but being able to go back and rewatch has helped a ton with that platform. So I mean, there's, and same thing with barbecue league. I mean, it's a great like fundamentals of like watching elite people cook their proteins, and I can't tell, like, I preach and preach and preach on this show, but classes, if you're serious about this game, I mean, it's everybody we talk to, they're world champs. I mean, they Drew Davis last week, I mean, he's the world champion. He's one of the best in the game, and he still takes a class every year.
Right. No, it's definitely worth it. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is just the notes. As soon as I turn in, when I start cleaning up, I grab my notebook and I'm making notes of every little thing I did. And then once we get the results, I go back and write down the results. And just little stuff like that throughout the cook and throughout the year, a lot of people take for granted. And it's really a game changer, especially when you take, like we're doing right now, we're taking 2 months off. And allow me come Coleman in September, look back and go, all right, this worked. Go with it. And just try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still trying to like remember whatever the hell I did at the invitation on my ribs. I'm like, what? That's the first time this year I've beaten AJ and Hunt and damn ribs. I'm like, you sure you called the right name? AJ, I think they mixed like my box and your box up. That's why I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Be like, we need to count those again, please.
Yeah, I want to recount. I want to get a recount.
But man, tell us how that first 180 felt, man, a couple weeks ago.
Dude, I cooked that one by myself. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to cook. And then literally like Thursday, decided, you know what, let's go. So we get up there, nothing's going right. I tried a new charcoal. Someone had been on me about trying and just wasn't happy with anything. Honestly, when I pulled my ribs out of the Cambro and put them on the table, I remembered my pork was still on. And so I literally just grabbed the collar straight off the smoker, threw it on the table, opened it up, went with ribs, turned ribs in, come back, sliced that money muscle off, and it was just mush. And I'm like, I almost didn't turn it in, really. I just had that little faith in it. And so I went ahead and just made some pulled pork, threw it in there. And that was something, throw Randy Bigler a plug here. At the last practice cook we did, he told me, he said, a lot of you judges are getting tired of nothing but money muscle. He said, now they can't ding you for it. He said, but if you add a little pulled pork in there, he said, they can help you a little bit. He said, they can judge you a little more unbiased if you got something they like. And so that hit me. I'm like, my money muscle's junk. So let's just grab it. And I made some pulled pork, threw it in there, and just kind of took the money muscle and made it like chunks and put it in there and just hope for the best. And I'm telling you, dude, when they called my name and said 180, I looked over at Byron Glass, Kirsten, and she went, "You just 180?" And I'm like, "What?" And I just couldn't, I almost went home. And so, I mean, it was great, man. It was great on the fundraising side too, because it's something you can show. Look, we have a little bit of a clue what we're doing.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
No, I can't. I think I was more excited for it when you got the 180 than you were, man. I was jumping up and down. I was like, hell yeah, man.
Heck yeah. Man, just seeing the excitement on your face, man, at awards was just so worth it, man. I was like, yeah, man, that's great for Gary.
I was so sad I wasn't there, man. I was watching, I was hitting you guys up on the phone. I'm like, hey, somebody got to stream the shit because I gotta watch, I gotta watch this. And AJ was getting me into play-by-play, but whenever they called you for the 1A, I was like, yeah, driving down the road. That's kind of what barbecue family was all about, man. I want to beat you guys every week. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna and AJ, taking it home, but I'm cheering for y'all every week too. So, like I said, I want to beat you bad, but I also want to, cheer you on just like more than anybody else.
Well, that's what at Winchester, Byron Glass had. He was just plagued with issues with that rec tech. And so
I know, yeah, bless his heart, dude.
He was trying to borrow stuff, and Pat and Lisa said, take this gateway over there. People were just like, take it, go.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he's like, man, it was like everybody wanted me to succeed. I said, everybody wants to kick your tail if they want to do it on a level playing field. They don't want to do it because you had equipment malfunctions.
Yeah. No, we all want to kick your ass, but we want to kick your ass honestly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No. Hey, I was trying to pay those homeless people like $20 to come over there and message you like that night, but Garreth has some buddies, man.
I normally don't sleep with a pistol next to me. That weekend, I slept with a gun right beside me because I didn't know what I was going to wake up to.
It's because you're so pretty, man. You're gonna wake up with a boyfriend if you.
Yeah, that was a trip there, man.
That was so funny, and what's the name was giving them beers. I'm like, stop it! You can't do that. He's like, I thought if I gave him a beer, he'd go away. I said, if you gave me a beer, I'll be hanging out. What are you talking about? Don't be.
Oh, Daniel.
I'm over here. I was like, hey, have you heard the good news? Like, I'm trying to Jehovah's Witness their butt out of here, and then Daniel's over here giving them beers.
You put them off on the pork rind guy when you said.
Stop! He may watch it. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I did not do that. I totally did not pawn them off. Hey, all right, but since you said that, no, shout out, man. That's some of the best pork rinds I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pork rinds is awesome.
Awesome. So good. But man, that was a fun contest.
Absolutely. Speaking of contests, man. Tell us a little bit about what y'all got coming up, man, for as Brothers Q and the ones for next year.
Well, we we're working with Brandon with Blowing Smoke. We bringing back Smoke on the Water Gunnersville, September 14th and 15th. Interesting enough, we invited the Gunnersville State Park park director and park manager and a few other people to come up to Smoke on the Falls and talk with us. And when Randy and myself were talking with him about doing Smoke on the Water and bringing it back, old dude, I think his name was Michael, he looked up and he said, only one way it's coming back. He said, Brandon Brown's got to be involved. And I mean, that was our Achilles heel the whole time, because Brandon was like, I'm done organizing. I don't want to do it. Well, I made a call to Brandon, and he said, if you'll handle one side, I'll handle the other. So that's what we're doing, you know, and we got a great group that's benefiting. They're working their tails off, selling sponsorships and getting things going. I think we're at 35 teams this week, and we're capped at 55.
Awesome.
So we're going to get there. There's no doubt it'll sell out, especially this summer as things slow down. So we got that one. Then obviously we got the Oh So Good Barbecue Festival again, first weekend in May. We've had local Walmarts reached out wanting to do something to benefit Children's Hospital in June or July next year. We haven't met and you finalize any deals, but that's a good possibility of another one popping up in the Montiana area. And then we're planning to do Smoke on the Water again next year. I mean, we feel like it's been a big enough hit so far that people will come back. They'll give us a year. You know, they'll give us a year to get our feet wet again. But you know, when you got stuff like Conecuh Sausage coming on board, you get sponsors like that. It's something fun, you know, especially when you're doing ribs, chicken, and optional Conecuh, so it's not part of the GC. Right. You got a lot of people who could care less about cooking ancillaries, but when it's free, you know, a lot of people are going to jump in, especially something as good as Conecuh on Anything Goes. And I'm going to tell you, I'm judging because I get to test a lot of that stuff that weekend.
Absolutely, man. You know, I mean, y'all kind of threw a curveball there, because I'm sitting here trying to, you know, twiddle my thumbs and figure out what I'm gonna do with, you know, there's so many things, you know, I just got to narrow it down. It's gonna be awesome.
Man, let's talk about the Oh So Good barbecue festival contest that you host, man. The double, that is one of my favorite of the year, and this year was fantastic, man. They're right on cue. We're gonna do it every year. We're gonna we host a cookout, and then you feed the people one day and we'll feed them the other day. But man, that it was the location, like I said, the previous year was fun. This location was better. And I like the time, and everything was better. Besides the dumpster fire, that was fun.
Jax may be watching, man.
That's okay. We appreciate it.
Start the fire, where we know.
Yeah,
we still didn't start the fire.
That's right.
But no, man, that was a fantastic contest you put on with the and not only that, I mean, I know a lot of us that usually don't do ancillaries, like AJ and Hunt and a lot Scott and all those guys. Oh, you know, the margarita contest and tacos, like who doesn't like margaritas and tacos?
That's right.
And man, you know, the best margarita won that year or this year for sure. But no, man, that was fantastic. That was a cool contest and well run. And I love, like I said, everything went smooth. Like I said, I love those contests where everything goes smooth and there's no issues. And so talk to us about like how, like the process of putting on a contest of that size and like the steps you got to go through. Because I mean, I would love to put on a right on cue backyard contest sometime in the future, but I don't personally know the steps to what to go through. So tell people who are watching, if they want to host one, like what's the steps that they need to take.
I personally, for me, looking back, I wish I had gone to 2 or 3 contests and shadowed an organizer. Somebody like Shannon Graham at Smoke on the Park went to some larger contests, spent time with them, and then found a small contest and went and spent time. Because to me, it was easier doing 29 teams this year than it was 7 teams the first year. But that first year, I had Shannon Graham, who was one of the first people to sign up, and he was a coach throughout the entire thing. You know, he said, I'll tell you everything not to do. And he said, a lot of it you're just going to have to figure out on your own. He said, but if you just follow the rules I tell you on what not to do, he said, you'll succeed. So, you know, it was having water on hand. You know, it was having a place to get in the shade. Little things like that, making sure the team come first, treating the teams with royalty. We had Pork Life. Alex and Paul were there, and that's the only two that still compete in this area that were in that contest. But I feel like we created some loyalty there. And then we had a local chamber was somewhat behind us at the time. They offered a little bit of assistance on the scheduling side, so they made things a lot easier moving into last year and this year. But when the biggest thing that I see is everybody looks for a campground. They look for something with full hookup. Man, if you just get in here and treat the teams the way you want to be treated when you go to a comp. Give them. You don't have to give them extravagant $100 gift bags. Give them something meaningful. Give them something useful. Just show them, hey, I appreciate you coming. We had Ace Hardware this year. Weather's Ace Hardware donated a whole pallet of Jealous Devil. You may not cook Jealous Devil, but you know what? You carried that home going, well, I spent $300, but I got a $20 bag of charcoal. So you felt a little better,
Mm-hmm.
So it was finding stuff like that and figuring out, this is what I would like to have. And incorporating that into the cook. The other thing that we run into that probably the toughest part of organizing is finding volunteers. And you seen me Saturday, man, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't have known if I was coming or going.
Yeah, you were exhausted, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so Sunday was a breeze compared to Saturday. My biggest suggestion to anybody who wants to host a barbecue competition. Don't try and host a festival and host something big. Maybe find something to piggyback off of, but focus on barbecue, focus on the comp, and then grow it there. Because last year like to kill me as well. And this year we had the chamber more involved, and we had a lot of volunteers on the front side helping with stuff like that. The Boy Scouts, man, they took over People's Choice and ran it like a dream, like they'd done it 10 years in a row. And so finding those little organizations, we had our chamber meeting 2 weeks after the festival, and we had somebody there that had really no clue what was going on because he'd been traveling, and he's a member of a volunteer organization for disaster relief that has generators. They have 200 kW generators sitting there that never get used. And he's like, I got your power next year. He said, we need to run these things. So don't, get out and call people. Don't sweat over power and stuff, because you can usually make a few phone calls. If you like volunteer organizations and such, they're willing to help. They want to help. Their equipment needs to run. They're looking for practice drills. And so, just beat the bushes. Don't be scared to ask, because it's a lot easier to get product and service out of people than it is money. And at the end of a comp, by the time you figure out what you had to pay for stuff, if you got it donated, that $2,000 or $3,000 in cash that you had donated is going to go towards your fund, your scholarship, whatever it may be, because you got all your product donated. So that's probably my biggest suggestion to people is beat the bushes, ask for stuff. Don't ask for money, ask for stuff, and then people will get the visibility you need, and people will start writing checks because they want to be involved.
Right. Well, like I said, man, you definitely put on a hell of a contest. Like I said, I know that made you appreciate people like Jason and Eric Cantrell. I can't imagine putting on that one they put on every year. Like the smoke on the shore, like 100, 150, 120 teams, like that. That's just like, for me, it's like, wow,
there's only one comp. Aniana, I never see a Master Series going on in Aniana. We want that to be a backyard staple. We want it to be a Pusacue of backyards. We want the people to be willing to travel. But Gunnersville's something that we've kicked around in the future, maybe not the near future, but they've got the infrastructure to handle it. Maybe looking at adding a Master Series there, because you can do 2 different turn-ins. You got plenty of room in the park, and just bring that back to the state of Alabama to encourage a lot of people that maybe we can keep it at 55 teams on backyard, and some will cook up that weekend. Now,
right.
That's restrictions.
Yeah, the state of Alabama is definitely like the SEC of backyard for sure, because the the emphasis that it puts on backyard competitions. But yeah, I mean, if you put on a pro contest in Alabama, I mean, with the limited, I think there's 3. You know, you definitely want to. Yeah, you definitely want to have a hard time selling it out because I mean, people are jack chasing. So anytime they can get 33% chance of getting a jack draw, I mean that's pretty good odds.
No doubt. We've got our friends in Costa Rica that passed through and cooked our first one meet. That's they're obviously that's their goal every year is to get a ticket to the Royal and a ticket to draw to the Jack. They just they competed in Italy this past weekend and GC'd over there and got their ticket plus their ticket to the Royal. And
the
so
Jack.
Well, I think they got a draw for the Jack, but if I'm not mistaken, there's 4 comps.
Really?
Yeah. So I was trying to figure it out. They do a lot of one meet over there, and I don't know the reasoning, but they got a couple of draws. They've GC'd a couple in Costa Rica as well, but they're on me all the time about when are you going to host a Master Series? We'd love to come over and cook it. So when you have a reputation of that, the bar is set high, so I cannot fail. There's no failing. Failure is not an option, and I think that's kind of what keeps us going and keeps us moving, knowing that expectations are high and we're going to deliver hell or high water.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I had an absolute blast with all the ones you put on so far, and we've had some good luck with them, so that helps too.
AJ got his first 180.
Oh, I can't believe that, man. As good a cook as AJ is, he got a team of the year before he got a 180, and that blows my mind.
Yeah, man. It's you've been close so many times, but man, that was awesome. Definitely was very surprised that compared to day one, it was awful.
I mean, how about my buddy Cotton? First backyard contest he ever cooked, and the dude grabs a 180 and a GC. I'm like, dude, that's like you playing golf for the first time and like breaking the course record and hitting a hole in one. Like you don't understand how like lucky you are.
Yeah, no doubt. That was cool too, man. To see somebody travel from Kentucky and have a good time. And I feel like if schedule allows, he'll be back. That may be the one.
Oh yeah, he will be. I'll bring him down with me. He ain't far from me. The travel ain't bad.
Yeah, it's not.
he was already feeding the FBI down there, so he don't mind.
Yeah. I think that's one of my. Yeah, Michael Underwood got his first RGC down there.
And those damn wings, man. He's the wing master.
I'll tell you what, if you're a cook and you want to organize, a double is the way to go because Saturday you're gonna get everything that can go wrong. You're gonna go ahead and get it out of the way Saturday. Yeah. Generators, whatever. Sunday, man. I've been picking Hunt's brain for a year. I'm not competing against him, so all of a sudden I'm getting to eat a Smoky B's rib. When it's going in the box, I'm getting. You get a few little.
I've had them; they're overrated.
Well, yeah.
Man.
He may regret it, but he showed me a lot on tenderness that day without showing me a lot on tenderness that day. So,
oh man.
But just little stuff like that. It's fun. It kind of brings stuff full circle. So you get to have a lot of fun organizing.
You do.
Absolutely. Speaking of a lot of firsts, man, we're talking about GCs and 180s. Can you just tell us how long did it take you until you started being consistent, as I say, for scores and seeing a difference in what product you put out weekend?
I'm gonna tell you, I still don't feel like I found the consistency that I want, but for cooking last year, I didn't get my first call until smoke in the outfield. And I think I got an 8th or 9th place call in ribs there. And thought they were junk. But we got a call there, and then we got, I think, a 5th place call in chicken at Smoke on the Park. And that was only 2 times we heard our name called last year. And then this year started out pretty good with chicken, and then it just turned into a dumpster fire the past 2 comps. But it was all self-inflicted. And it was good going back, taking notes. I knew what I did wrong. First rib call of the year, though, was ditto. And to get a 4th place call, man, especially with that stacked field there, I did not see that coming at all.
Well, and, I mean, you you know, you're coming into like cooking backyard, you know, in a state like Alabama. I mean, you're walking there like Vanderbilt while playing against, you know, Alabama and LSU and, you know, all the big boys up there. Man, it's hard, man. Like I said, people don't understand, like, you know, some of these people, like, week in, week out, you hear across the country, like, yeah, I got GC, I got this call. I mean, man, if you get a call down where we cook week in and week out, I mean, you earned it. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's something to be proud of.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because I mean, every comp we go to, it's like, you know, a lot of pro comps in the South too. It's like every comp you go to, I mean, 5 of the top 10 will be there.
That's right.
And so I mean, it's something to be happy.
Well, that write up they did in the paper, I shared the article. I think I can't remember the numbers, but I want to say we had 15 of the top 30 teams in the nation were in Aniana cooking that weekend. And if the cook hadn't been happening in North Carolina, I feel like we'd have had 25 of the top 30 teams in the nation. So I mean, when you got that in your backyard, man, it sets the bar high every week, and it makes you bring your A game.
Oh, for sure.
There's a lot of people out, but to me, it keeps me going. I just want to beat Norala. That's it. I just want to beat
Norala. Me too. Let's say it together. Suck it, Norala. No. All right, man. Let me ask you this, man. Talking about, you know, big time teams and big time success in barbecue. When you get barbecue success, like what teams or what people or in general like come to mind when it comes to barbecue, like the competition side and barbecue business, or just barbecue in general?
I mean, on the competition side, I look up to Sterling Smith and Luton Booty because he has done a lot for the industry. He gets his name called, and he's a down to earth guy. You know, you can shoot him a message and he'll talk with you and help you work through stuff. Got great products, and he's just kind of sweeping the entire market and just taking it by storm. And yeah, it's a great goal for anybody who's cooking barbecue to kind of pattern their life and their goals after what he's doing, if that's the direction you want to go. Mo Cason, man, I bought his book and started really diving into his book. That dude's a genius when it comes to barbecue and cooking in general. And so I've really started following a lot of his stuff and paying attention to how he's doing things. And really those two are kind of the ones that I probably pay more attention to when they're kind of the E.F. Huttons of barbecue in my world. When they talk, I listen.
Fair enough, man. They're both amazing cooks in their own right, for sure. And then, you know, both of them are great businessmen as well. You know, creating a great rub and creating a great market for their rub. I mean, anybody can create a rub, but create a rub that, you know, people seek after and, you know, is widely distributed. I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself for sure.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
And then Luton Booty, that Gold Star chicken rub he's got is fire.
Dude, it works on everything. It's great.
And he's a simple cook too.
He is.
He don't use a lot of rubs. He's just like, I've noticed, like, you know, people, the elite, you know, like I overthink this. Like I've said it before, like I'm not, like, I got to throw everything in the kitchen sink at, you know, my proteins. But man, a lot of the big guys, a lot of people that are hitting week in and week out, man, they're rolling 2 to 3 rubs max.
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, pork got it down to 2 rubs and a blend of 2 sauces, and that's it. And that's when it started really hitting. But you're right. I mean, Sterling stuff, if you ever watch some of the pictures and stuff that he will post on social media, you'll see it's a very light coating of anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was, I think my first comp at Smoke on the Shores, I want to say we had 15 different things in the entire rib process that we were doing. You know, we just had a stack of stuff. And I'm like, oh, you know, it's $50 to cook a slab of ribs. You know, okay, let's throttle this back some.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking last week, you know, Drew with the all day rubs. I mean, that dude is like, he is a assassin when it comes to barbecue comps. Like anybody, he rolls up to a competition, like people are noticing, you know. And I mean, his stuff's, you know, he said his stuff's real simple, man. He uses his own rub. Like that to me is like Sterling uses his own rub, and like that to me is like the the creme de la creme. Like when you can roll into a contest and you have so much confidence in like your own rub, like I'm rolling with my stuff and that's it. Like that to me is like the ultimate like level of barbecue success for me.
Well, we've got somebody local who is win play show using his own rubs, and that's Scott with Deviant Smoke. And you can see, man, he'll tell you I'm in the business of selling rubs, and so he uses his own stuff, and dude, it hits. It's good.
It's great stuff, man. Great stuff. Anybody watching hadn't checked out Deviant Smoke rubs and the team itself, man, they are rock stars, and they're killing it this year.
His GS3P is in everything I use. I'll go ahead and say that.
There you go.
At home, competition, wherever, GS3P is a base layer for everything. It's that good.
I got you.
Man, that's awesome.
Go ahead, AJ.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, them tacos you had cooked that day, and I think Chelsea, man, you used that fajita rub, I think, right?
Yeah.
Man, whew, man, that was awesome. Great rub. Rub.
I want to come out with. So I want to come out with like I could always talk about I want to do my own rub. I want to come out with like a barbecue rub, and then I want to come out with like a Cajun rub, and like I love like the Malcolm Reeds and the Heath Riles, like some of those like off like not the barbecue rubs, but the other ones like the Cajun garlic butter one from Heath Riles and the that Greek style rub from Malcolm Reed. Remember we tried that at Tennessee? Dude, that is fire. Like
awesome.
Throughout the week, that's what I'm using like on everything.
Yeah, that Heath Riles Simply Citrus too, man. It's just
that's great on fish.
Yeah,
it's really good on fish. But have you had this kid's garlic? Was it garlic butter Cajun or whatever?
I have.
Yeah, Cajun Creole garlic butter.
Yeah,
dude, fire.
It's good stuff, but it's hard for me to get away from Hardin's on a lot of that stuff. Hardin's goes so good on everything.
There's a ton of amazing stuff out there.
There is.
Absolutely. But man, if get back to asking some barbecue questions. I'd like to ask this question to see what people think. If you could change one thing about barbecue, what would it be?
Man, y'all have heard me say it, and I'm gonna say it till KCBS and everybody's sick of hearing it. 2 meat, 4 meat. That's the one thing I would change. We would be 2 meat, 4 meat. Because the people the masters that I like hanging out with and the ones that will invest back into the backyard people, they don't come to our comps because there's nothing for them there. But if they could come cook 2 meat comps, I think you would see the barbecue following grow. You would have more people invested in it. They wouldn't be one and done because you've got these guys that are willing to help. If they want to cook brisket, if I want to host a 2 meat comp and do brisket and chicken in Aniana, we can cook brisket and chicken, and do away with team of the year and just pay the categories out. Put the money back in the categories. Make it worth your while, don't get me wrong, $250 for winning a category. Usually you're covering most of your expense for the weekend if you get first place. But dude, if you're getting $1,000 per category, you're going to focus on that one category, and you're going to execute it as close to perfection as you can.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Speaking of team of the year, way to go, KCBS, for still not doing backyard team of the year like you said at the get go. I mean, it's so hard. You figure out the pro, you can't just plug in that program. I'm looking at you, Rod Gray.
That's right.
Well, backyard. I mean, it's simple.
put some bass in your tone when we talk about us, and give us a team of the year. I don't care. I said I'm.
That's why I was laughing, man, because it's funny.
Yeah.
I just
team
you
of
have
the
to
year.
laugh, but I get mad.
Team of the year. Yeah, it's still happening. We just haven't figured out the wizard. Whatever. Ooh, I can go on a whole. I can go on a whole podcast about that right there.
Calm down.
Ooh, yeah, General Giant go mean. No, man, but if talk about like barbecue, man. What are your goals for this year? Like me and AJ always set up goals, or my goals and AJ's goals probably a little different. This man's trying to conquer the world. I'm just trying to beat him. I started off going for team of the year in both categories. Now I'm just trying to beat AJ. That's all I care about. I can get 14th as long as AJ is 15th. I'm good.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, yes.
No, I mean, one of the goals going into this year was to get a first place in each category, and they including the pork. And and that's a tough goal in the South. So we got our pork. So now we've been close. We've been 3rd, 5th, 7th, 10th out of the ones, and then don't even want to talk about the other two, how bad they were. But we've been so close on chicken, and it all comes down to the tables we were on. But that was probably our main goal this year, was just to hit a first place call and at least get an invitation to the Invitational. Just be nice to have that, and just not DAL anything was the other goal. Just steak, man. SCA has been my nemesis. No matter what I do, how good a steak I cook here, I have DAL to steak. And the last one I went and cooked, I think I finished 8th from last. And I have to call my wife. I'm like, I'm done. I didn't DAL. I'm done. I'm ahead. I'm coming home. But I'd say simple goals, because I don't want to set huge goals and end up losing focus trying to obtain too many. And so I feel like, we're just going to keep hammering this fall, keep hammering on chicken until we get that call, and then turn around and hammer on ribs and try and finish the year out and get a first place call in each category. And I'll walk away happy.
Man, don't feel too bad. No, don't feel too bad, man. I have yet to get a first place call all year, and I've actually had a pretty decent year this year, and I've still have yet to. I can't tell you. I'm always like, I feel like Cinderella, going into the ball, man. I'm 3rd place. I've had 3rd place. I think I've had 3rd place chicken 5 times this year so far.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't buy first.
I mean, you got like a 178 in Aniano. I mean, and you got
Yeah. I did, AJ. Yeah, I got 4th. I got 4th.
That's crazy.
I got
178 usually win.
178.6.
I was like, man.
0.6. Yeah, that's gonna go up there with my straight flush day. My poker story, we're having a straight flush and still losing.
Yeah, that
was an expensive hand. No, but it is what it is. All right, man. Let's talk about your because, like I said, I'm so happy to have you on, because you've been our ride or die since day one. Like I can't say enough good things about this man right here. Me and AJ in Houston, we started this little Piddlywink podcast. Lord, how many think it's been 6 months? Has it, AJ? Has it been 6 months?
We started in was it February? So
yeah, maybe 6 months, whatever. Yeah, almost 6 months ago, and I couldn't imagine like the growth we've had. But man, after first couple of episodes, man, Garreth he's like, man, I'm in. He had faith in us, and I can't tell you like how much that means to me, and the faith that you had in this show, and so that's why I'm always first and front line to talk about supporting you and the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply name and how the company. So let's talk. Like I said, you have some pretty. Let's talk about the brands you got behind you. Let these people know what they can expect to find there at the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply, man. You got some recognizable brands back there, especially the Peep Show. I see Peep Show back there, man. Yeah, our main man. That's some pretty dang good chicken brine. And I see some of the people we've had on the show on there. You got All Day Drews, and you got some Bill Purvis back there.
Bill Purvis, we just got the game over in actually Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had a chance to try it out yet. Looking forward to trying it out. We're sitting with the OG Bandits. Zach and Katie come down and talked about OG Bandits a little bit, and then
I know a lot of people that run that stuff. Fantastic.
Curly Bird raved about it, so I'm like, we got to try it. And dude, when I busted it open, I'm like, no wonder these people are loving it. We try our whole emphasis was on kind of staying out of the mainline items. If you can buy it at Academy or Ace, I really can't help. I can't buy it by the pallet like they can, so I can't help you on pricing. We're going to be a little bit higher, but we're offering you a small batch top seasoning, Really, the only commercial small batch, you catch that? Really, the only commercial lines we're carrying is Loot and Booty and Butcher, but Butcher's really not a commercial line. I mean, everything's made in small batch still with him in house. Smoking Wizard, man, it's been a game changer, and it is sweeping the stinking nation. It's amazing the people, and I can't go into detail about who's using it, but it's amazing some of the calls that people are getting using the Smoking Wizard. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's a flavor that I feel like used right in this area, the judges are loving it. Blues Hog is probably one of the best products on the market.
I've heard of them. I really
think judges are starting to develop an immunity to Blues Hog. So you throw something in there to spice it up and change it up a little bit, and they're liking it. You know, Butcher, one thing I love about dealing with Dave is, like, I called him yesterday. We talked for about 30 minutes. You know, just picked his brain on some stuff, a few ideas, and he was an open book. And, you know, and he's dropping these new lines, these new honey rubs. And he's announcing 2 tomorrow night on his podcast that are going to be awesome. And I've got them ordered.
Stay tuned.
So I would highly recommend seeking his podcast out or Facebook Live out tomorrow night, because it's going to be some rubs that are going to really change your palate and change the way you cook. But, you know, he's been a great one. Deviant Smoke, man, I sell a ton of Deviant Smoke just because it's such a good baseline rub. And flats, you know, Travis has been great. You know, we got tons of people sitting here waiting to get CPR, and he's waiting on labels to get here so he can get it shipped out.
I still haven't tried that yet. I need to try some of his saw. I keep hearing about it, and you know, I listen to it on the Backyard Matters podcast, and I you know, it's funny, like, you listen. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Garreth. I do apologize, but you listen to, you know, some of the shows and podcasts. I'm a big podcast guy, and I love everything barbecue. So anything I can get a hold of, like, barbecue wise, I'm always like trying to listen and watch. And I hear about this stuff, I'm like, well, I need to try this stuff. So I mean, you know, it definitely helps.
It does help, especially when whoever's making it is in the competition circuit. They're out there. They'll open their trailer door up and show you what they're using. They may not show you the mix, but they'll show you what they're using. And when they're using their own product and getting their name called like Travis is, I mean, the product sells itself, just like with Dave, with Butcher. Product sells itself. That's with Smoking Wizard. Man, he come to Georgia. He was getting his tail kicked in Texas. He come to Georgia and cooked the 4 meat, nailed it, GC'd it, got back on the board with brisket, you know, and had sold a ton of season and sent a ton of people my way. So it really helps. And that's why I feel like what we're bringing to the table, that week in, week out competing, you know, we're trying these products. I'm not going to put a product on the shelf that I won't get behind. And
right. And have you opened every product you have? You've tried every product?
Yep. And usually, you know, if Clint or somebody's got it, I'll try it. I'll order it from somebody I know and try one before I buy it and carry it.
Oh yeah.
He's got some stuff that sells like wildfire, and I'm not going to carry it. You know, let him carry it up there and hit his market. You know, and it's been a game changer with some of the taste flavors that are out here.
Absolutely, man. It's like for me, I can't tell you how many times, like, whenever I first started, I sent AJ pictures of my mountain of rubs. Whenever I first started doing competition series, I had like a mountain of rub, and it's like I've literally whittled that down to, between all my proteins, I think I have 6 rubs now for all of it. And you know, people, like you said, you got Big James Kitchen; those guys are fantastic. I mean, you just picked up Drew Davis. Like, I mean, I'm telling you guys, man, y'all need to reach out to Garreth. And if there's a rub that you use in your program that he doesn't carry, reach out to him, and he is all on it. Like, I literally said, hey man, I use all day in my program, and I'm like, hey man, you should, you know, really look into this. He said, well, send me the contact info. You know, like, he is very receptive, and if you don't have it, he's happy to carry it for you. Like, I can't tell you, like, as far as customer service goes, this man, like I said, top notch. So highly recommend checking Mr. Garreth out.
Well, that's been the big thing going into this, was you got to set yourself apart and serve. And my full-time gig is service industry, and so you just treat every sale with the same service, and that's what we try to do. and treat them the way we want to be treated. I'm gonna plug one thing real quick, man. Fortenberry
Please do,
sauce,
yeah.
Fortenberry barbecue sauce, Fortenberry
Mm-hmm.
Farms, they're out of the Coleman area. We are bringing this on. People tend to shy away when they look at the size of the jar and the cost. But I'm gonna tell you something. It is a stinking game changer. He has got some amazing flavors. I'll have them with me. Reach out. We probably got a few we could send out to certain people and let them check out. If my trailer's going, get with me, man. I've usually got them in here, and I'll let you try them. Because about everything we've got here, we keep samples. We don't expect you to buy before you try. We'll hook you up.
Absolutely, man. Well, like I said, that's something like I said. Maybe you start doing the competitions, like set up a little table and have some of the stuff you carry on there, open bottle, and let people try their stuff before they order. Because I love doing that stuff, and like I know, like even Brian's, it's because I mean for forever the market share on chicken brine was Game Changer. Oak Ridge, yeah, Oak Ridge, man. I think wouldn't you say probably AJ like 90% of all teams use that?
Absolutely, man. I mean,
you used it. I used it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yep, absolutely, man. I was very surprised when they shut down. I'm like, why? I mean, I don't understand.
And 100%. But then two amazing brands that come on the market. I mean, I personally like Peep Show the best, but I mean, Bill puts out a fantastic brand. I know a lot of people have won, and he's obviously won a ton with it. So I mean, anytime something goes off the market, somebody's going to come right back on it. And Butcher's has some amazing stuff themselves. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's like flavor of the week, but like all the products behind you is going to get you in the ballpark. It's just about hitting that right formula.
That's right. And Smoking Wizard's got a lot of stuff in the works right now. He just went mainline with his pork injection, and I'm gonna tell you, dude, it is money. And he's revamping his whole chicken program as well. So you got some stuff that's going to take the place of Oak Ridge, and I really feel like if people give the fair shake, they're gonna succeed.
Yeah, I mean Oak Ridge Game Changer. I mean, if you use Peep Show, which I think is the best, but Peep Show or the Game Changer, Bill Purposes, I mean that right there, those two right there, I know a lot of pros and a lot of teams that use both those products that are fantastic on.
I got a friend in Chattanooga who was paying $20 and $25 a bag for Oak Ridge. Just try. I should have bought.
I went to Atlanta barbecue supply class, and they were doing a sale on the Oak Ridge Game Changer, and they were selling by the case. I said I should have bought that. I meant like a barbecue drug dealer walking through these contests. Hey, I got some gold bags. You know what I'm saying? $50 a bag.
I keep staring at one over here. I've got one left, and I keep staring at it over here.
Oh, just keep it. I wouldn't open it, man. I had a bag I found in my trailer that was I hadn't opened earlier this year. I was like, oh crap, I'm using this till it runs out.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But no, man. But no, it's been so like how many more comps do you think you got in you this year, man?
I can't remember what's on the schedule. It probably no more than 4 since we're hosting Gunnersville. That kind of messes my whole rhythm up. It's good. With my boy, he's 5, so you only get 18 summers with him, so it really helps with being able to spend some time with him. And so we're probably, I know we're doing St. Bernard. We've got Smoke on the Park in September, Gunnersville. And then been talking with Dylan, kind of seeing how Dylan's going to do down in Clanton. May run down and do that one. We put our name in for Pussyq, got accepted, but we haven't totally committed to that one yet. You
need to, man. I see that. I see that Pussyq dessert trophy behind you, man.
Oh yeah.
That was when she said she wasn't doing dessert. It was kind of man, I got lucky down there. I was hoping to get lucky again. But she is doing wings this year and mac and cheese, and that's 2 things I've been doing pretty good with. So
mac and cheese. If I turn in some shells and cheese from Velveeta, think I have a chance?
Think you may, man. We keep it simple down there in LA. Oh.
That's what I'm saying, man. No, man. Well, right there, that lets us know it's time for the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply lightning round, brought to us by none other than Brothers Q Barbecue Supply. I heard that guy's all right. He's decent. He's not bad.
Yeah.
So thank you, Garrett, for sponsoring this section of the show. Man, you've seen the show. You know what it's about. Short answers. So let's hit it, man. You ready?
Yep.
All right, man. Favorite thing to cook at home?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. I think Drew said that too. All right, man. If you're going on vacation, nude beach or mountain vacation, which one?
We're going to the mountains. Now, this body's not built for the beach.
I was really hoping you'd say nude beach. I'll try to sneak that in there. I'm like, that body was built by barbecue.
That's right.
One thing you always have with you on your trailer, and you cannot say your thermopin or thermometer.
Rubber boots and coveralls, just because of smoke on the shores 2 years ago.
Or the invitational, man. I almost started bringing waiters. Man, what is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of your barbecue career?
Oh man, when you come up with a process, don't just reinvent the wheel if it fails the first time. Run it, see it through, get 5 or 6 comps under your belt, and then tweak stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was notorious for changing it up every week.
Rexon. If you could have a walk-up song at awards, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy, man. Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, I get knocked down.
That's right.
That's awesome, man. All right, man. If you could win one award this year, which one would it be?
It would be the Smoke on the Park. GC at Smoke on the Park.
He don't care about team of the year. He wants Smoke on the Park.
That's just such a cool trophy. What they do there with the axes and stuff, man. That's what it's about. I just want something unique, and that's the one. That's the one I'm chasing.
All right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right, man. Last question. And you know what? You may have answered it already, but I'm going to ask it again. All right. If you could only grill one thing, I don't think you have answered it. If you could only cook one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, gosh. Well, it wouldn't be chicken wings. I can tell you that. If I could only cook one thing for the rest of my life, it would probably be ribs. Honestly, I enjoy cooking ribs. Yeah.
Do you enjoy eating ribs?
I do. I really do. My little kid, my boy loves them too. So, it kind of. My wife, she'd starve to death, but she's just not a big rib fan. But
all right, man. Last one. Favorite barbecue restaurant? What's your favorite barbecue restaurant?
Man, I've got 2 favorites, and
nope, one.
I'm gonna have to say Porky's Pride, man. Porky's Pride in Warrior, Alabama. He's kind of got a bougie touch on barbecue that is out of this world.
Nice. And what proteins when you go to a barbecue restaurant? What proteins do you order?
I'm usually a brisket and turkey, because if you can nail brisket and turkey, your other stuff's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, let's say me. When I go to a barbecue restaurant, like I get excited about the sides, and if they have like chicken wings or they have sausage, like they have the in-house made sausage. Oh, I'm always ordering that.
Good stuff.
Okay. Man, I'm setting you up, AJ. You didn't even finish it. You just laughed. He's like, AJ's like, my preacher's watching. I can't even do it.
It was close. I was gonna say it.
He looked down at his bracelet. He said, "WWJD." No, man. All right, man. I try to help you out. All right, man. Garrett, well, this is the time of show where I allow you to let people know where they can find you and any plugs you want to give and whatnot.
Man, I want to plug my wife, because she's been the reason we're able to do
married
what we do.
All married men want to do that. They want to plug their own wife.
Easy now.
Not yours, their own.
I know. No, she's been great. Let me chase this hobby and chase a dream.
Yes.
We've got Mark Hunsaker's been great. You know, he's giving me a chance to take over a market here. And everybody that's behind me on these rubs, man, they threw it right out and gambled and it's like, hey, we'll roll with you, man. We'll give you a chance. And you know, obviously there's a ton of people in the city of Aniana and Blount County that we could not be successful on our fundraising end or barbecue competition end if it wasn't for them. I can't name them all because we'd be here another 30 minutes. But man, everybody who has contributed to the barbecue festival, the rib rally, whether it be monetarily, through volunteering, whatever, every one of y'all guys, you're the reason we keep coming back. You know, if any of you are watching, you're the reason we're able to keep coming back every year and do what we do. And we couldn't do it without you. And I want to thank y'all publicly for everything y'all have done and continue to do. And that's who I've got.
All right. So, well, man, you need to share. I mean, I plug you all the time, but you also need to let people know where they can find the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply for all their barbecue needs.
You can catch us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, website, brothersq.org. That's the best place to start, man, because you can see the history, see where we go from there. One click link to get to the barbecue supply from there. My cell phone number and email is on the Facebook page, on TikTok. Call. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call. You know, I may not can talk to you right then, but I promise you I will call you back and we will work through whatever issue you got. Order whatever.
All the issues.
That's it.
All the issues, man. All the pressing issues, clothes issues, whatever, man. Relationship issues. Right. He is Dr. Love. That's his other side.
I talked to Charlie.
Dr. Love. I knew I've heard your voice, Candy Cane. Is this you, that's Candy right. Cane?
Yeah. $20 is $20, right?
$20. Said every lot lizard ever. All right, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother, and thank you for the continued support of this show. I can't express how much me and AJ and all the guys here at Right on Q appreciate it.
Hey,
so, man, we were going to keep.
It's been a heck of a ride, guys. Thank y'all for putting on a great podcast. And
absolutely, man. We appreciate you listening, not only listening, but also helping support us. And we couldn't do it without you. So I truly appreciate it. So, guys, make sure you check this man out. He is a saint among men. And for all your barbecue needs, man, check this Brothers Q Barbecue Supply out. So, man, I'll holler at you later, big dog.
All right. See y'all. Thank you.
See you, buddy. Who? No, all right, man. AJ, man, that was thank you for joining me, man. It's been a while since I've seen your beautiful smile. Pearl's been Pearl's been hogging that for a little too long. But yeah, man. So I guess we Justin, yes, I know. I got to get cookies. I'm gonna get in those cookies. I'm gonna get in that cookie bunch. AJ, you're muted. We're getting in. I got to get in that cookie bunch. She was talking a little smack on the Facebook page. Whenever I was like, "Oh, I'm about that cookie." She goes, "Yeah, I faintly remember you." I'm like, "Oh, all right. I'll make sure you remember me next time I see you." But
yeah.
All right, man. Well, all right, AJ, you got anything else to add? No, man. Miss Rita, she's just saying I'm jealous. I'm trying to get on that. On that group. But all right, man. Well, that's it. That's all we have for our show tonight. As always, man, make sure to tune in. And please, like I said, if you're not subscribed, follow the page on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or anywhere podcasts are broadcasted. And yeah, man, help us out, man. It's free to do, and we sure do appreciate it. Just download the episode. If you don't listen to it, still download it. We don't care. It's all good. You know, if you don't hear our beautiful voices, you don't even have to dial 1-900 to hear this one. All right, so check it out. And until next time, make sure when it comes to barbecue, you're always right on cue. All right, man. See you guys.
That's all, folks.